and defeated Tiwi 113. 2 matches tomorrow, Waratahs and Wanderers at 2:30. Thomas Motlop, enjoy that warm weather. And then we'll see St Mary's taking on Palmerston at 5 o'clock. Just having a look at the two teams out there now. Pretty, I'm going to say, nice conditions for this time of year as well. So a bit of breeze around, and this will be a comfortable 7 o'clock first bounce here at the opening game for these two.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's lovely. Even 5 o'clock's my favourite time to start playing. But around this time, it's probably still a bit closer to the earlier in the year. So there's not so much dew. But I'm sure it is a bit slippery out there. And as I look at the Nightcliff players having a kick around, he just drops one. But it's a lovely time. Yeah, it's definitely a lovely time of the year to start playing. I'm sure they're all ready to go.
Well, talk about all ready to go. Out in the middle, we have Philip Wills. He is the first-time captain for a season with the Nightcliff Tigers. He's been given that honour for this season. And the man out in the middle who's going to toss the coin, they're just shaking his hand, boys. Gilbert McAdam. Wow, what an honour to have him as the NTFL ambassador for this year.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's been doing some great work with. He's been on Channel 7, Gilly. So we're very lucky to get him off Brian Taylor and the crew, and Bruce McAvaney and Wayne Carey and all the boys were lucky enough to lend him to us for a weekend. But yeah, I think it's a great initiative. He's he's a local, he's a Darwin treasure in football. Everybody loves him in Australia, even when he's on the radio and other stations down south, down in Melbourne on SEN. He's been on there during the week, and callers ring in and they just love his honesty and just how he is as a person. His nature is just lovely. So I think it's great by Stu Tottenham and AFL&T to get him on board, Dom.
Yeah, no, I think he's terrific. He's an icon, I think, of territory football now. He's done almost everything that you need to do in football, and then he's continued on. It's not easy to develop a career in media post your playing days, and Gilbert's been able to do that. Here he is, one of the famous Alice Springs footballers, such a great player in his St Kilda days, and now striding off Marara Oval here as a genuine media identity throughout the AFL community in Australia. Just wonderful stuff.
And just great work on the Marngrook footy show as well.
Yeah.
Always have a lot of fun on there.
Yeah.
All right, well, the toss has been won by William Farrer, and they will be kicking Dominic towards the airport end. And so they've chosen to stay there, still in their huddle. Nightcliff have just broken for their huddle, and they're going to take the centre square. And now, quickly, we must touch on the new rules. 8 new rules. So there'll be 6, 6, 6. And
it's in.
It's in. So
it's in.
If those that are following AFL, they hopefully would have picked it up quickly. What was it like, Thomas, though, to actually be practising it at training?
Well, we haven't practised it as such yet. But
sat down and talked about it?
Yeah, we've talked about it. There's obviously...
What one stumps you?
So what you're going to find now is that, when a team has a lead, Dom, you're going to find that in the past you were able to drop an extra player back down in defence to give you an extra number behind the ball. Mm-hmm. So that would slow down, give you a chance to knock, inside 50s going against you. You'd be able to stop them because you had an extra number. Now it's going to be all square. The other thing you'll see is that because the 6-6 have to stay inside 50, where their starting positions are, they've actually got another 8 metres to the centre square. So when you're making a centre break or a stoppage, it probably gives you about another 3 seconds before players are rushing in from both ends of the square. So it gives you a chance to run the ball probably to the centre square line and have a shot on goal, as we've seen Patrick Dangerfield in the AFL being able to do many a time.
Yep.
All right, we're underway in just a moment. Josh Hardy and Brodie Morecambe and Mitchell Forsyth, our referees out in the middle, all under 21 years of age. Forsyth, first Premier League debut from Western Australia. And the ball is aloft, and to call all the action to start off, Dominic McCormack.
Jonathan Miles in the ruck here for the Tigers. Riley Owen Skender for Southern Districts. Good bounce in the middle. Neither ruckman really had an effect on the footy. Farrer, that's Josiah, getting a kick out of midfield. Tumbling a punt up to inside 50. Not taken there by Daniel Cox for Southern Districts. Wills coming in, his first touch, a little sneaky handball out the side. And then the ball out of bounds, just outside attacking 50. So straight away, the ball up inside 50 for Southern Districts. Bit of intent there from Farrer. And a boundary throw in.
Yeah, you can see Keegan set up really well behind the ball. He's looking well, looking sharp out there.
Miles, good touch straight away for him out of the ruck contest. Got it off to Wills. Philo now looking to get Brown into some space. Wasn't a lot of space. Big up and under up towards centre wing. Mark almost taken there by Keegan Dingo. Is going to be paid. It is.
Yep. That's what he's back in for.
That's what he's there for. Passes off the handball straight away. So Southern District's looking good already. And that's beautifully cut off back there. Cameron Island, his first touch for season 29-20. And that's exactly what he's for. Across half back, taking a nice little mark. And the Nightcliff Tigers now through defence, looking to move it away from defensive 50. Riley. Out wide. Now the scoreboard wing. Long kick. That's a beautiful move. Lovely mark taken out there by Coco Nicky at centre wing. Looks to bring it inboard. It goes to Philo. District's got to be very careful. They can't allow him to get the cheap and easy kicks because he uses the ball so beautifully. And look at that kick. That's what he does just so well. Setting up already now the Tigers on the lead. Good mark. Trent Melville. I think that's who it is. Trent Melville leading out beautifully there from full forward. Just wait to check on the number here.
Might be Butcher.
It could be Butcher indeed. Looks a bit bigger there than Trent Melville.
Bigger.
So Butcher it is, who's taken the mark here for the Nightcliff Tigers, leading beautifully up the corridor. Ball in hand, directly in front of goal. Crosses the paint of 50. Kick on its way. It will make the distance. It'll make the distance easily. So the early running was from Southern Districts. The Tigers on the board. Butcher with his first kick, and that is a goal on the board. It's taken them 1 minute. One straight 6 Southern Districts yet to score.
They took the ball out there really well. Nightcliff went out the other side, found Brody Philo, who's an amazing kick, was able to find that hit up outside 50. But I just thought that Southern Districts in the transition weren't able to fill that space in front of Butcher. I looked back there and they just had a bit of time. Nightcliff to just hit up John Butcher, and he just had a bit too much space to hit up through the centre of the 50 there.
So ball back in the middle, and the two ruckmen will go back at it again. Miles with the big 30 on his back, and Owen Skeller. And it's not really one down easily. All the hands in the middle. Owen Skeller with a lovely handball back behind him. Quick click out of the middle, and it is going to be a clash and a juggling mark there for Nightcliff Tigers. That's in the hand of Brown, Nathan Brown. He comes to the broadcast wing and he spots up the Nightcliff Tigers player quickly down the wing, and they're going very, very fast at the moment. Looking up at the moment for someone running his bell. He goes down inside the forward 50. And it is picked up lovely, one-handed here by Nicky. Nicky with a little kick towards goal. And it's going to be a free kick high. So the ball coming back, slight of angle for Nightcliff Tigers, but beautiful scoop off the ground from Nicky Coco. He gave the ball forward, and a beautiful mark dropped by Sharp, but he was infringed in the process. So he is going to run into the 30-metre mark, 45-degree angle on his left foot, and he likes it straight through the middle on an angle that did not deviate at all, but put that down to Nicky with a beautiful pickup and running into that forward 50.
Yeah, and that's what he's there for, that X factor. Coco in those, last year in the finals played, just that X factor inside 50, creating opportunities, just very much like Eddie Betts does. Just get the ball forward and get a boot on it. And Lachlan Sharp there was able to finish, and he's a great player. I might be mistaken, but I know he's had some knee troubles, may have had a knee operation, but before that, and whenever he's been playing, he's won leading goal kickers and league best and fairest down in Victoria, so he's a very handy player.
He's the one who's come from the Bendigo League, isn't he?
That's it, Bendigo, so very handy player down there.
So Lachlan Sharp with his first goal on the board for the evening. Nightcliff 2 straight, ruck contest knocked away here by Miles. Got a big tackle laid in the middle, handballs coming thick and fast, but a free kick paid in the middle for just going on with the tackle a little bit too long. Handball off the Tigers. Here's Brody Philo racking up the possessions already. Steps around an opponent, has a bounce, kicks long, looking down there towards Butcher. I thought he might have been held off the ball for a moment. Districts there through Michael Bowden, just soccering the ball out towards the boundary line. And deliberate is the call. And Southern Districts not happy with that. Zach Smith voicing his displeasure there to the umpire. Free kick to be taken. The Tigers now. Long kick. Out to the goal square. That kick is errant. Keegan Diggo was the one who went up for the mark. Spills to the back. Southern Districts now away. Long kick down looking for Lionel Ogden at centre wing. Doesn't take the mark under pressure. Nice little handoff there comes to Cox. Cox just grubbers a pass. Oh, and they've opened up space beautifully here. The kick, lovely one it was too, came from Stephen Stewart. Little pop over the top here by Beau Schwarz, and kicking the goal, Will Farah opens his account, the Southern Districts captain, for the season. First goal on the board for him. More importantly, first goal on the board for Southern Districts. Nightcliff 2 straight 12, Southern Districts 1 straight 6.
And that was really great ball movement coming out of defence there. Brandon Rusker was able to clear it with a well-weighted kick. Lionel Ogden was able to do a bit of magic and get it on to Daniel Cox, and he was able to use his pace and just that transition of ball, and that's what made him a good side last year, just their ability to transition and be clean and get it over the back. And it's good to see Will Farah back in the goal square. I know he's had a bit of trouble. He might have been injured late last year and just couldn't get there, so hopefully it does his confidence well, and it was a good year apart from when we play against them. But all the best, Will.
Bias call there, Thomas Motlop.
So Owen Skender and Miles back up it. Favours Owen Skender for Southern Districts. He just drops it down and the ball's not going to go too far as the ball is just dived on by 2 players. So another quick ball up, still in the centre square. Owen Skender gets the ball with the tap down. He's now trying to do the more work, but again, we have not moved. Probably 10 centimetres. We're still in the centre square, the centre square circle, and this is the 3rd ball up between the 2 rucks. Owen Skender flies high over Miles, gets a tap and a quick ball out. So another clearance to Southern Districts, picked up off the ground. Handball to Southern Districts, flying through was Brooke. Goes down towards the goal square, rolling, and it's in advantage of Brooke. That is a monstrous kick, and there was no one in the goal square for Southern Districts. It got the bounce and it rolled through. Flying back was a desperate defensive player from Nightcliff, but that's what it's all about. There was no one even in cooey of that for Districts.
No, and I suppose when they had the 3 contested ball ups in a row, that Dom, it really drew all the players in.
It didn't it?
And the defenders really were pressing up as we get instructed to do, pressing up into the stoppage. But because they were pressed up so high, they had no one at the back, and they were really not expecting that kick.
Again, good quick ball movement from Southern Districts, so a good start here by both teams. We've all been looking forward to this match, and they'll redo the bounce down in the middle there. Far too much to the advantage of Riley Owen Skender on that occasion. Up they go again. Miles, Owen Skender. Miles wins it down, straight to Philo. The number 23 bombs long into attacking 50. That's a beautiful kick. Mark dropped. Play on was the call. The shot at goal is errant.
I think he's got it.
He has got the goal. That is a fantastic kick. I was watching the Southern Districts player tracking the ball down towards the point, but that was a goal. So Nightcliff 3 straight 18. Who was that player who kicked that goal? That wasn't Lockie Sharp again, was it? That was a magnificent kick.
Just trying to see who the boys are all getting around to give a high five. But
Nightcliff 3 straight 18, Southern Districts 2 straight 12, and again Thomas Motlop, Brody Philo, and those beautiful long kicks inside attacking 50.
Milesley was just able to bring it over the front. Yep. And the interesting one was Brody Philo coming from the front of the stoppage and carrying it out through the side. Yep. So he just used his pace, turned a foot, and then got it deep inside 50. It's great.
Ball tossed up again in the middle. Miles got a fingertipper to it. Southern Districts with numbers around it now. Quick kick up inside 50. No mark taken. Good attack on the ball from the Tigers' defence. The ball comes out the back to Eilert. Sweeps a handball. Drop there. Pressure comes. Out the back. Good tackling was laid by Steve Stewart here for Southern Districts. Looking for the free kick. The umpire says no. I will take it. Ball up in the corridor. 35 out here from the Southern Districts goal. Skender Riley, up he goes. Ball comes out the back. Little quick kick there from Stewart. Farah overruns it. Tigers now with the opportunity to keep the ball in hand. The mark taken by Harry Williams deep in the left back pocket. So Williams now. Nice kick and a nice mark too. Good mark taken there by Kyle Winter-Irving. Sticks to the wing. Good mark taken. Good build up here by the Tigers. Bailey Bell.
He was the last goal kicker as well.
There you go. Bailey Bell kicked that last goal. Turnover from him. Beautiful pass. Southern Districts now with ball in hand at right half forward. Kick comes here for Districts from Sam Barnett. Long kick down to Farah. Came off hands. Miles is there, the ruckman. He gathers. Will Farah draws him in. Brown gathers, handballs out, and it looks like he might be injured. He fell on his shoulder. Good attacking play here from Southern Districts, deep inside their forward 50. Tackle laid close to the boundary. Ball spills, and the boundary umpire says, I will have it, and he'll toss it in 10 to 15 metres to the left of the Southern Districts goal face. In fact, it was a ball up, so that ball up has occurred right close to the boundary line. Josiah Farah gathers, has a quick snap on goal. But from that angle, 25 metres out on the boundary line, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So the free kick there to be taken by Cameron Islet.
And just a quick change on the team sheet. Melville's actually in jumper 26. I've just been told. It's down for number 20, but just mark that down. He's wearing jumper number 26. As Nightcliff Tigers try and come out of their defensive 50. An ugly handball from Miles, but it will do the trick as they cleared out now on the outside wing. And they're going through two sets of hands. It's going to come into the middle to Philo. Philo's got plenty of time. Little chip kick over, and he finds Wills. Wills backtracks. He's got three around him. Can't cover the ball. It juggles out, and now it's in the hands of Southern Districts. Clearing kick down to their forward 50, and it is going to be picked up by Southern Districts. Brooke puts it on the right, and a beautiful lead out well in front of Riley. So for Southern Districts, an easy chess mark for their captain, Farah. And William Farah will line up for his second attempt on goal.
They had the run to play there, Nightcliff. I think they just went an extra handball. Brody Philo could have probably put it on the boot as he's done in the past and got onto his fourth inside 50, but
40 metres out
Farah
with a slight angle, and he's kicked it, snuck it inside the right post, Farah. High fives from everyone inside the forward 50. But that was a great lead because he left Riley right with the defensive, probably good 4 or 5 metres he had on that lead. So they're going to have to watch that one. One-on-one, he's much quicker, isn't he?
I wasn't too sure whether they were going to let Daniel Cox was going to run onto that or whether he's aiming for that, but Will Farrell obviously has the pace and the ability to get at a lot of balls that go inside 50 in his direction.
Great to see Will Farrell get some early touches in this game. Such a confidence player, such a great player in this competition.
So scores are even here, and we're back in the middle. It's 18-all.
Bounce down again, Miles up against Owen Skender. Ogden sweeping onto the footy. Finds a teammate, now Daniel Cox sweeping in. In fact, it might be Baden Alkin out there for Southern Districts. Lovely kick now. This is that man, Daniel Cox. He's had a good impact on this game already. Spearing kick. As soon as I talk him up, kicks it straight to
That'll be 50.
A Nightcliff opponent. And a 50-metre penalty there going against Tim Brooke. Free kick in the hands of Daniel Bowles, who is a very good player for this Nightcliff Tigers team. Again, you can see who the go-to man is. Brody Philo goes straight across the ground, centre wing, finds a teammate there in the form of Caleb Walker. Caleb Walker goes very wide. We'll get the handball back here. He worked hard. The handball was poor. Baden Alkin put a shepherd on. Now Josiah Farah to gather. Gets a handball away. A little bit untidy here from Southern Districts. They're about to clean it up. Lovely tap over to Alkin. A little bit of time, a little bit of space. Lovely kick up towards Farah. Farah's hurt himself here. It looks like he might have done a hamstring. Let's see how he pulls up from that. Tigers now with ball in hand. Little chip. Well, he's jogging back to the goal square, so he can't be too bad. Brody Philo with a beautiful looking kick. Finds his teammate. And that's Moniz Wakefield. Looking up here for Bailey Graham. Bailey Bell, I should say. Found him initially. Couldn't get a handle on the footy. Comes back to Ogden. Ogden, that's a beautiful kick. Defensive 50. Southern District's just looking to settle.
Just has the ability to change lanes, Lionel, and just cut it up a bit and just play it a bit different. I think it's a great matchup, him on Bell as well.
There we go now, Michael Bowden delivering the ball beautifully. Found a teammate there in Sam Barnett. Kick from him up towards Farah. This time Riley was right next to him. Was able to thump the ball over the boundary line, right where the 50-metre arc meets the boundary. Southern District's into attack, kicking to the airport end. And the score, we've gone almost 15 minutes in this first quarter. It's 3 goals, 18 apiece.
They've had a lot of pressure to be even as well, because I've got inside 50s, 4 to Nightcliff against 9 to Southern Districts.
Tigers now with ball in hand. Little chip across. Oh, almost an untidy chip there. It goes to Philip Wills, and the umpire says wasn't 15, so called him to play on. Managed to give the don't argue quite well. Bricknell flying high across Ogden. Didn't bring the ball down to his advantage. Ogden did. Took the footy. Kicks it out wide. Clash coming here. The high flyer was from the Nightcliff attacker. Districts managed to get ball in hand through Jaden Schofield. Kicks it up here towards Farah, who's just looking so dangerous. Kicks the ball inside 50. Mark taken here by Tim Brooke. player who just came on for the Tigers was Harry Williams. So Tim Brook, we've already got him down for 1 goal in this first quarter. 3 straight 18 apiece. Oh, that is a wonderful kick from Tim Brook. Don't you love watching a left footer kick the ball? Just drew it around magnificently from 45 metres out. It was only 5 metres in from the boundary. Districts take the lead. 4 straight 24. Nightcliff 3 straight 18. 16 minutes gone in this first quarter.
Got a couple of few longs and Riolis over there behind the goals, just keeping an eye on the NTFL as well. See Benny Sabo standing there, enjoying the game. But yeah, it was great shot there by Brooks. You know, left footers, they just look so calm and natural when they have a shot, even a golf swing or
absolutely
throwing the bowling a cricket ball.
I remember watching the great John Taylor looking at Ronnie Burns kicking the footy. Just said, just watch this, just watch these left footers kick the ball. Loved it.
Back up in the middle, Southern Districts take the lead for the first time. Winter Irvine in the ruck for Nightcliff against Owen Skender. And the ball has come out through the hands of the Nightcliff midfield, who are on top at the moment. Kick down towards a lead of, and it was dropped in the end, but it was a pretty good lead from the Nightcliff number 17 in Sharp. And say both of the full forwards, at least for both sides, are being honest on their lead.
Yeah, and even when they're having clearances, Nightcliff, I think they've been so clean. Whether it's Brody Philo or someone else getting on the end of the clearance, they're just putting it deep and direct to a great lead, aren't they?
40 metres out from goal. Brought back in by the umpire. Owen Skender at the back, but it goes in favour of Nightcliff. And the Nightcliff player there is jumped on by 1, 2, 3 Districts players. So desperation there, and Hangen is the man on the bottom who gives the ball directly in front of the goals in favour of Nightcliff Tigers. The ball is put onto the bright boot, swung around and towards the... Oh, and it's a kick on goal, but it's socket off the ground, and that is going to go towards Nightcliff Tiger. In the end, it was not a good kick from Bell, but it has been awarded to Nightcliff Tiger. And that was kicked off the ground.
John Butcher
John Butcher got on the end of it. I think
scrappy
it was Bell.
bit of play.
Yep.
Bell.
Was it an assist? I think it was an alley-oop.
Bell with the miss kick.
Off the feet. An alley-oop off the feet.
He just came running in, ball on the ground, socketed through. Very fortunate, but you take them any way you can get them.
And then they've had a clearance, and just from that inside 50, they're able to score another goal. So the scores are tied again at 4 goals apiece. But really, Districts are on top. They're 10 inside 50s to 5, and then pretty even in the clearances. But Nightcliff just being a lot cleaner and making the most of it.
One of the things that they did very well last season, of course, they were just so efficient with the footy, the Tigers. Again from the middle, bit of a scrimmage. Coco Nicky trying to belt it out. Josiah Farrer, great pace, socketed out, got to the footy first, clean by hand to Beau Schwarz, runs to 35 out from goal, has his shot, and misses to the right-hand side. Again, just not clean enough with the footy. Had to kick that, Thomas.
Yeah, well, it deserved a goal from Josiah's effort. He made a 50-metre effort there and gave the assist off, so well done to him.
Geez, Beau Schwarz, he'd normally eat that for breakfast. Long kick from Riley now to bring the ball out. Taken here almost by Southern Districts through the form of Isaac Wyatt. Goes to Ogden. Playing close to the boundary here. Another opportunity. The long shot at goal. That's through for a goal. What a kick that was. That's a superb kick on goal. Again, just trying to pick up the player. 5-1-31 Southern Districts. Nightcliff 4 straight 24. Just trying to pick up who the player was who kicked the footy.
I think it was Stephen Stewart.
Well, he deserves a goal,
centre.
Stephen Stewart. It's one of the centre players, that's exactly right. So Stephen Stewart kicks the first. So multiple goal scorers in the game already. Tim Brook and Will Farrer for Southern Districts. John Butcher for the Nightcliff Tigers, and Steve Stewart. That was an excellent goal on the left foot.
Yeah, some great skills. We've had some misses, but I think the standard so far has been great.
Very good.
So back up in the middle, Miles up against Innes. Miles with the height advantage. Miss kick out from Southern District, cleared by Nightcliff inside the forward 50, and a great marks directly in front of the goals, and that is Butcher. He was just too strong, so he is 40 metres out directly in front.
He's a very powerful forward. That's what they brought him up for, to be a presence up there. And he's taken 2 great marks inside 50, the former Port Adelaide player.
So Butcher on the approach, straight through the middle. And the umpire slightly to their right. And they're going to give it the all clear. But again, a great clearance from Nightcliff, and Butcher just with a little push off, only needed a bit of a metre to the right and takes a clean mark. So a quick reply there from the Nightcliff Tigers, and it's 5-1 Districts 31, Nightcliff 5 straight 30, and we've played 19 minutes in the opening term.
Both sides have had an answer for each team when they've scored. We've gone up one and then we've gone back up the other to even it.
So 5-1, 31 to 5 straight. What a first quarter for this grand final replay. Fantastic. Miles up high, got a fingernail to it. Philo couldn't take it cleanly. Coming out there is Bailey Bell. His kick smothered. Chasing after it again, Josiah Farah been good in this first quarter. Districts with ball in hand. Streaking away is Brandon Rusker. Had his kick smothered as well. Up and under. Isaac White couldn't bring it away. Handball out the back to Farah. Kicks into space, looking out there, but not finding a teammate in Jaden Schofield. Punched away by the Tigers. They have possession now on centre wing. Untidy kick inside 50. Falls here for Bailey Bell on the left boot. Shot at goal will be marked on the goal line. Well done, Southern Districts. And the clearing kick. Well, they're looking to move the ball here. The ball comes inboard to Bowden. On the right boot. Comes out to Wyatt, who's featured a few times now. His kick up towards Cox. Pushed off the footy. No mark taken. Coming into challenges, Zach Smith. Takes possession of the footy. Handballs backwards. Goes back there to Brandon Rusker. Beautiful delivery of the footy coming there from Michael Bowden. Finds a teammate there in Joshua Innes on half back. Play through the middle. Number 28 there for Southern Districts. I don't have 28 on my team sheet.
Nah, not listed.
Will Farah with ball in hand, outside 50, uses the ball, doesn't find a teammate on the full, but well picked up there by Bo Schwarz. Handballs away to Farah, goes back again to Schwarz. And the lead-up target, well led and a good mark too. And that's taken there by Sam Barnett. About 5 metres in from the boundary, maybe a bit more. Left forward pocket. And he'll go back and have his shot on goal.
Good build-up play there, especially Michael Bowden in the back line, linking up with Keegan Dingo to clear that ball. And then a great kick back through the middle by Bowden. And he was still running, trying to get a hold of that footy through the middle.
Such a good link player, as you say. Kick on the way here, and just fades late to the far side. So another point on the board here for Southern Districts. That kick coming from Barnett. So they move on to 5-2, 32. Nightcliff 5 straight 30, gone 23.5 in the first quarter.
We've got Damien Williams as well out there playing for Southern Districts, former Buffaloes player, and Baden Malkin, who's at Dutch Districts as well, former player for Nightcliff.
Kick coming through now to Jonathan Miles. He takes that kick at left half back here for the Tigers, the big ruckman. Been a journeyman ruckman to say the least. Keegan Dingo cuts off his kick. Michael Bowden coming in support
Great
there.
player.
And comes diving across through the interchange gate.
It's been a big week in NTFL trade week, Dom, with player movements. Not as much money changing hands, but still big movements nonetheless.
There's been some movements, that's exactly right. Quick kick coming from that ruck contest then, Rodney Nagawali. First time we've called him. Big tackle laid here in the contest at centre wing. Both sides still very willing here. And well done to both teams. Good intent shown. Getting up from that contest, Roger Morris was the man on the bottom of the pack. Ball tossed high. Controlling that was Owen Skender for Southern Districts. Trying to come away with it, Tim Brook tried to push his way through. Didn't do so, dropping the ball as the call. Free kick goes to Joel Buderick for the Tigers.
So kick down the wing in direction of Innes, and it stayed inside. It's still dribbling. He's just able to keep it in. Chucks it on the boot. Bell, and it's still in favour of Nightcliff Tigers. Running pass, outside boot to Captain Wills for his first goal with the captain's armband. And Philip Wills dribbles one through on the outside of his boot.
And Coco Nicky again just created. I'm not too sure whether he was having a shot, but I'm sure he was putting it on the outside of his boot there for Philip Wills to just give him a better angle. And Phils was able to, whether he's going to step around the player in the goal square or not, I'm sure that ball was going through either way.
Gee, they just show, don't they, that they've got some real speed and some real talent when they get that ball inside forward 50. And yet again, Thomas, we see quick entry inside 50, goal on the board. Very, very efficient when they go forward.
Yeah. Both sides are doing it. Both sides are doing it really well. Whether they're inside 50, transitioning the ball up the other end of the oval, when they decide to go, they're going, and they're going really well.
So back in the middle now from this ruck contest. And here's the first warning for the 666 contravention here, I dare say. Warning's been given to the Tigers.
So you need one in the goal square as well as having the 6 in the 50.
Tigers win it out of the middle. Miles hardly got a touch on it, but their midfield working beautifully. Tumbles a punt now up towards attacking 50 for the Tigers, but District's defence there in numbers. A free kick being given here, and the free kick will go to Southern Districts. And Nagawali to take that free kick, goes laterally. Districts just overusing the ball perhaps a little bit. Handball comes from Nagawali, cut off now by Philo, spills to Nalkin. Handball on the up to Ruska, couldn't handle initially. Now going back the other way by hand. Handball flicks through, coming through strongly was Williams, was taken to ground. Again, turnover. Ball comes to Josiah Farah on the boot, goes long, looking for Will Farah, left high, had the two hands to it, couldn't take the mark. What can they do here? Bo Schwarz flicks
really
it on,
well
gets it here to Will Farah, runs into the open goal. Nightcliff appealing for the throw, Thomas?
I don't think it was. I think it was just a quick handball. Really smart play there by Schwarz to get it up to Farah, who, misjudged the mark, but he was able to turn around and get involved again and get on the fly and take the ball to the goal square and kick the goal. I think Will, he might still be getting used to his body and what he's done, because he wasn't starting in the goal square last year, so he may just be adjusting to flying at the ball again. But it was really good to see him attack that. And his brother Josiah, who I think's had a great first quarter, a lot of great inside 50s, big in-depth kick, clearing a lot of lines there to get it into Will and create pressure for the Nightcliff defenders.
Ball bounced in the middle as we hit the 27-minute mark of the opening term. Now just cleared out a hurried kick for Nightcliff off Walker's boot, and it's down on the ground just at the top of the attacking edge of the square. But it's Southern Districts that are going to clear out, and it's a kick heading towards Schofield, and it was just not able to be juggled in the end, and it's going to be high. Play on for Nightcliff Tigers. 32 running through from Morris, cuts it into a hurried kick to the top of the square, and it's going to be a throw-in.
Gee, Thomas Holman did well then.
Yeah,
just
really
shoved Butcher around, didn't he?
Get that fist to it. In honour of Danny Frawley, the Golden Fist, the Defender of the Year. We might have to give some votes and do an honorary one up in the NTFL for that. But it was great. Great bodywork in the goal square.
Terrific. John Butcher been so dangerous. Kicked 3 already, as has Will Farah at the other end. Boundary throw in here. Players in hard. Handball comes out. Dangerous here. Oh, that was a wonderful soccer off the ground there for the Tigers. I think it might have been the import. Again, having a shot there, Lachlan Sharp. Soccered off the ground. Hit the post a third of the way up. Districts now to take the ball and bring that in on the siren. Ogden putting some body pressure on the ball. Came to Cox, but the siren sounds to end an entertaining first quarter. Went for 29 minutes. Can you believe it, that first quarter? Well, I'll tell you what, you should be able to believe it, because the scoreboard at quarter time, Southern Districts 6-2-38, leading Nightcliff 6-1-37.
Yeah, they just look really sharp.
more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come in and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Trailing Southern District 6-2-38.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, well, they've got three Nichols medalists in there at the moment, but that's what they had last year for their grand final, and they did it really well. They've obviously, brought Cameron and Phillip in to be leaders. Brodie Fowler, I think he's just the flash and the polish and the flair to just to ignite and just have that dynamic spark to get it going. He's great on both sides of his body.
Yeah, not wrong. Jonathan Miles would be wrapped if you're looking around him going, now where do I palm this?
So Dominic McCormack to get us underway. Second quarter, it's the Crocs by 1.
Jonathan Miles up in ruck again against Owen Skender. Miles wins it down initially. Islet had a slight touch to it. District's fighting hard here for the ball. Josiah Farrer wrestling away here with Phillip Wills. He does well, holds the ball up, passes it back to the umpire, just slightly to the far side of that centre circle. Ball comes down to Cox, releases by hand, beautiful play. Off here to Damien Williams, one of the trade week specials for Southern Districts, as Thomas Motlop would like to say. Handball coming out now for the Tigers. Districts unable to control it initially in their forward 50. Little one slips out the back here. In fact, it's been given a throw. I was being kind. And the ball goes here to the Tigers. Off half back now. Little chip comes out to the captain in Phillip Wills. Right half back, close to the boundary. Another little chip. Brodie Philo. Normally just such a good user of the footy. And here he goes again. Mark taken here by Winter Irving. Another big, strong-looking player here for the Tigers. He goes down the line. Cox gets in the way. I love the way that he's played already and belts the ball away there from Lachlan Sharp for the Nightcliff Tigers.
Yeah, he's been very good, Daniel Cox. Great to see him play a lot more. I hope he's staying up here and moved up here and plays a lot more footy. But I really think they need to start paying Southern Districts a little bit more attention to Brodie Philo, because he's getting a lot of footy.
No real advantage to the ruck being won there, and it's brought back to the same spot over the boundary, and Wills is absolutely dumped across the line by Cox. So So the umpire directly in front of the Nightcliff interchange dugout. And throw it up. Oh, very crooked. That wouldn't have passed mustard in the Rugby World Cup as a straight line out. So it was no advantage to the two rucks. Still in the middle. Cameron Islet not able to collect it. Cox through his feet. Islet being tackled hard here. Ball up in the air, ping-ponging around, and it is now taken out of the middle with Owen Skender putting it on the boot, but it's come back into the middle through Nightcliff Tigers. They go out to the right. Quick handball running through. Tried to sell some dummy. Keegan Dingo didn't want anything of it. Great defence from Keegan Dingo. That was brilliant play. Quick hands to Rusker. Goes out to the outer side, and District's away here. Kick down towards a very free and vacant. Good hands by Barnett. He quickly looks up and spots up Farah. And Farah wants to pay on quickly. Really short chip over, and he finds a vacant Schwartz, who now has time in the right pocket to go back. But brilliant work there from Keegan Dingo, right on the defensive 50, and they're way down the right. Farah just unselfish, gave it to Schwartz, comes around with a banana, but he wasn't comfortable there on his left, so it's missed to the left. Good build-up, but probably not the finish that they would have wanted.
Nah,
Schwartz didn't look comfortable in that right pocket, did he?
And there was no sale at the cash register for the candy. Keegan didn't want a bar of that.
No. Too experienced for that, Thomas.
So District's now out to a 2-point lead, 3 minutes into the second quarter.
Brodie Philo now to bring the ball back into play. Let's see what sort of movement he gets across half-back. Kane Riley on the lead. He's got an outrider, but he goes the other side. Comes the grandstand side, the Morris Rioli grandstand. Well read there by Josiah Farah. Just picks it up and runs away from Miles. Drills the ball in. Philo in trouble. Tackled, releases the footy, goes to Islet. Comes back to Bowles. He's a good left footer. Up it goes. Philip Wills couldn't take the mark. Coming in strongly, Dingo. Gets out of a tackle. No, he doesn't. Picks up the footy. Tried to take it on. The umpire says that's dropping the ball. And the free kick to go here to Winter Irving. Finds Caleb Walker. Right centre wing in front of the grandstand. His kick a good one. Michael Bowden putting good pressure on there against Lachlan Sharp. Districts with ball in hand. Now Damien Williams goes one way, then the other. Gets it to a teammate in Schofield. Schofield.
Good take, Keegan.
Finds the man, Keegan Dingo. Takes a good mark. Left half back for Southern Districts. Just assessing his options now. Decides to kick the ball long, going close to the boundary. His target was Cox. He kept the ball in. Is the ball still in? No, it's not. He kept the ball in momentarily, and then Moniz Wakefield took it over for the Tigers. Boundary throw in just to the left-hand side of the Southern District interchange race.
So, ball up, slight favour for Nightcliff Tigers, and easily won down the back by the height there of Miles. Kicked inside the forward 50 for Tigers. Awkward bounce. And now they are away. Sorry, that was Southern Districts. Push after the kick, but it's gone down in the middle, and a great juggling mark there in the middle. Nightcliff Tigers. Bricknell plays on quickly, goes over the head, and defensive will be picked up here by Dingo. Oh, beautiful hands, trips over, and it was a good tackle laid on him by Nicky. He had it well, Keegan Dingo. It looked like he even just tripped over his own feet, but Coco Nicky there, good pressure. He looked a bit
unfortunately, I think he just tripped over his missed footing there, but unfortunately if you hold the ball for that long and you step around a player and you go down with it, regardless of how it happened, it's caught with the ball these days. So we'll see Coco Nicky. He's usually a really good natural set shot of the footy, so we'll see how he goes here.
35 metres out, slightest angle. No breeze to speak of here at Marara Oval. Stutters in on the right, kicks it straight through the middle. He liked it. Goal umpire just had to go to a left just by a metre, but he knew as soon as he kicked it. Now looking for a little rest after that. So that is a good goal for Nightcliff. But Keegan Dingo has been very busy in his game back, with that one match suspension hanging over his head for the Crocodiles. But it's Nightcliff 7-1-43, District 6-3-39. And what that means for Keegan Dingo, he was reinstated this week into the NTFL after his ban. But if he is then suspended for one match at any stage through his career now, it will be a life ban from the NTFL. So he's playing pretty well and clean footy at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's put that all behind him, and I think he's just been focused on getting back into how he's played footy, and I think he's just slipped back into his role of a couple of years ago. So it's, yeah, great for him.
Ruck contest in the middle was called back by the central umpire. Poor bounce, so they'll toss it up for the second round. Up they go. Winter Irving got that one away there for the Tigers initially. Districts trying to come away with it by hand. Bricknell takes it after an errant handball, kicks out wide. That's a really good-looking kick. Finds a teammate there in Wade Dirksen. Drills a pass in that is just magnificent. Unable to handle it there was Butcher. Damien Williams runs away with it, needs to get rid of it, does do so. Finds Nagawali for the Crocodiles. He handballs away here to Rusker on the left boot, gets it down towards half forward. Cox now putting on pressure. Districts here in numbers. Cox paddles it around to his own advantage, dives in to try and control the footy even further against good opposition and sees the ball out of bounds. And that's about 75 metres around from the Crocodiles' goal, grandstand side. Good pressure, Thomas.
Yeah, great pressure. I think, you know, great run there from Brandon Rusker to get the handball and shows his confidence, showing he's getting a bit confident running off half back. But I think Daniel Cox a couple of times could have just taken the ball out. Even then, he was outnumbered. Just wait for his teammates to get there, have a stoppage and try and get a clearance.
From the ruck contest, Folo getting the ball away to Eilert. Eilert off to a teammate. Nice kick up here towards Dirksen, off the hands of Williams. Again, Rusker with ball in hand. Under pressure on that occasion from Bailey Bell, and kicks the ball out of bounds on the full on the grandstand side. And so to take the free kick, Cameron Eilert. Umpire asking him to come around and take his position correctly. Kicks inboard, goes to Bowles, who's just starting to move up the possession count now. Goes inboard, dangerous kick, turnover. Ogden takes it. Who can he give it to? Goes to a teammate in Horbury. Tackled in the middle of the ground. It was the hospital handball, as they say.
I reckon he's really lucky there, Bowles. He tried. He's going again. It's a great kick if it comes off, but you've got to hit him.
Up and under this time inside forward 50. No mark to Damien Williams. Goes to the back. Lovely tackle laid. Isaac White just crunched his opponent in the middle of the ground, and they're not happy here. There's a bit of a melee starting to develop here, and the umpire says, I'm just going to toss the ball up here. Who's nominating for the ruck? He moves 5 metres away from the contest and tosses the ball straight up in the air. Butcher wins it. Williams couldn't handle it. Bailey Bell tries to barge his way through. Handball comes out to Southern Districts. Goes here to Baden Alkin. His kick almost marked by the Tigers. Numbers to Southern Districts. Ogden got it away initially. Now to the run of Barnett. I think it might be on centre wing. Kicks long into attacking 50. Beauchoirs near the footy. Can't get close enough, and the ball taken out of bounds by Kane Riley. Boundary throw in, 15 metres, right forward pocket favouring Southern Districts.
Taken a while, but they maybe waiting for their second win to come, but it just took a while for the players to regroup down and just transition from the other end of the oval down into the Southern Districts forward line. Just
waiting now for the umpires to throw it back in. And Innes and Winter Irvine for Nightcliff have nominated as the ruck. About 10 metres out from the right post in favour of the Districts team. And it's going to be cleared out. No, ball is on the ground. And Southern Districts are trying to clear it out towards their goal area. 1, 2, 3 players on top, and including Cameron Eilert just holding the ball in there. So Southern Districts not able to get it out. Ball straight up, and it is directly in front. Huge tap over the middle, and a kick off from Nagalkin. Nalkin, and that was an up and under, but it's gone out on the full.
They have numbers out this way. Phil Wills wants to come, and he does.
So finding numbers, Tigers on the grandstand side. There's Bowles with that lovely kick, the number 22. Coco Nicky couldn't quite find the footy. Drags down Josiah Farah. He handballed the ball in front of himself and was then tackled, and the umpire said play on. Must have deemed that Farah was still in control of the footy, even though he handballed it in front of himself.
got up hobbling as well, so very lucky because his knee was caught under that tackle.
Wasn't happy with that, so boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position here. Ball comes to Damien Williams, shrugs the tackle from Philo. Brilliantly done by Williams. Ball gets behind Nathan Brown. Schwarz handballs to a teammate there in Sam Barnett. The ugly up and under. Needed to be calmer than that. Goes back in now. The second effort, what can he do? Has the ball socket away from him here by the Tiger defence. Eilert gathers. Handballs out wide to Bowles. Geez, really come into this second quarter as Bowles and finds a teammate out wide in Caleb Walker. Left half back, far side. Kick is poor and cut off by Southern Districts out on the half forward flank.
It's a bit contrasting to the first quarter.
Players
a bit slower. They've slowed up a bit. The kicks just aren't there.
It's a long kick now inside forward 50. The Flyers are up. A mark taken. And
I think they've paid a push
kick is going to go here to Southern Districts, and it will go to Jaden Clark. Sam Barnett, I think it was, for Southern Districts actually took the mark, but Jaden Clark. So right of centre, 45-degree angle. Will kick on goal from about 45 metres out. Districts trailing at this stage, 6-3-39, Nightcliff 7-1-43. So if he kicks this, he'll put them back in front. Haven't kicked a goal yet this quarter, Southern Districts. Kick on its way. Oh, that is a magnificent kick there by Jaden Clark. Puts that straight through the middle. And the Southern Districts Crocodiles, they retake the lead. 7-3-45, leading the Tigers 7-1-43. We've gone 13 minutes in this second quarter.
And they've had a lot of pressure, the Nightcliff defence, and even, you're saying Bowles has come into the play. And what he's been able to do is, when they've been under pressure, they need to find a mark. So when all the panic's going on and they've played on and they're handballing around, you need to find a short kick and find a mark. Either go back or go sideways. Find a mark so that you can slow it down. Everyone takes a breath and let's say, hey, let's chip our way out of this until we find something clear and get us take the pressure away. But great finish there.
Ball up in the middle, one down here from Southern Districts, cleared out by Schofield, kicked down to a packet, centre half forward. No one can take the mark, brought down on the ground by a Nightcliff Tigers player, still in dispute, and a heavy tackle laid on Morris. And the umpire's going to ask for a ball up directly in front, 45 metres out in front of the Southern Districts goal. Hand won by the Nightcliff Tigers ruck, but Philo has just run into a huge tackle that was laid by Clark, and a free kick going to Clark. Bit of push and shove as a couple of the district's players are in there with Philip Wills, the new captain. So bit of
it looks like it's Philip Wills and Jaden Schofield.
Yeah, and they're going to play on. The umpires trying to get Clark just to worry about the kick on goal.
Bit of pre-season tension, I reckon. Yeah. A bit of steam off.
So Clark, the right footer, is just going to go over the paint of 50, directly in front, trying to get back-to-back goals for Southern Districts. He likes it, he strikes it straight over the umpire's hat. And Southern Districts with a great reply, back-to-back goals. Districts 8-3-51, leading Nightcliff Tigers 7-1-43, and we've gone 15 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Brody Philo, obviously, trying to create a play there for Nightcliff. But the defenders, that's what makes him a great player, because he bounces off left or right of his foot, and he's obviously tried to do that through the stoppage, which, a lot of the times he will get through, but unfortunately there he was met by a great tackle at the other end. And I think when you have players like him and Abe Ankers, you need to have a spotter at the other side of the stoppage, so you're lining them up and watching their angle that they're running through and try to catch them on the way through.
Great player, doesn't get caught very often. He was absolutely nailed on that occasion by Jaden Clark, who kicked the goal. Out of the middle now, Districts trying to work their way through again. No clear ruck win, but Southern Districts, the ruckman now grabs hold of the footy, handballs away here to Isaac Wyatt, gets a handball away to Brook, now away to Williams, back to Brook again, and to Williams, racking up possessions here. Williams, that's a beautiful, calm kick, finds Baden Malkin, of course the ex-Nightcliff player, Baden Malkin. Mark taken in the middle of the ground here. Jaden Schofield sweeps a handball out wide, goes to Zach Smith, long kick up to Farah. That's what we love seeing him do, leaping high, took a beautiful mark, 48 metres from goal in front of Kane Riley. And the captain, what will he choose to do here?
What a great mark. I'm trying to look, probably kicking from about 52 metres, or he might kick it on just on the paint, but I reckon it may be a bit beyond him.
Yep.
May land on the line, but hopefully he makes a distance for district's sake.
Kick on its way. Touch ball was the call, I think, from Riley. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Players waiting. Bounces over the line for a boundary throw-in. So Southern Districts doing all of the attacking at this stage, and they'll have a boundary throw-in to the left of the goal face.
I reckon Will Farrer is a great kick, great shot at goal because he's so accurate with inside 30 because he's very straight. But just with the natural kickers, when they swing and arc their leg and bring it around, they get the more distance. So because he's so straight, I think that's what pulls a bit of distance yardage off his kick.
Boundary throw-in went straight to Brook. Cleaned up almost by Jaden Clark, who had a flying shot at goal. Baden Nalkin with it. Trying to step his way through there was Schofield. Tigers now trying to extricate from defence. Tackle laid. Ball spills from the Tigers. Nalkin coming through again beautifully on the left foot. The high up and under. The Flyers are up. Mark taken for Districts is called. No, it's not. Spillage comes through. Ball handball to Farrer. That's Josiah Farrer on the left boot. Swings through a goal. Magnificent play by the Crocodiles. Tremendous goal by Josiah Farrer.
Yeah, and I think it was a great effort out there by, I think it was Jaden Schofield or Stephen Stewart out on the far wing just to contest that ball and get it onto Baden Nalkin. He was able to get it in, and Josiah Farrer, he's great on his left foot. The Clontarf boy from Catherine, I think he still works down there. But yeah, great effort. He's been playing a great game so far.
Finished off his Thunder season really strongly, and tell you what, he started this season in exactly the same way.
Well, I know that Districts, even coming into the finals last year, through the middle half of their back end of their year, they had a lot of injuries. And they really had to overcome those to get through their finals and then compete going into the grand final. So it's good to see some healthy players there at Districts.
So ball up in the middle, no free advantage. Kick cut off by, that was Cameron Eilert, but it was kicked into the back of his own player, Philo. So we have gone a couple of metres outside the centre circle, and it'll be another throw up with Miles for Nightcliff up against Innes. Miles with a bit of height there, didn't really have to get off the ground. Ball tried to be picked up off the ground for the Nightcliff Tigers in their captain Wills, and two Southern Districts players jump on top of him, so still not outside the centre square. Innes up against Miles. Miles with that height advantage, doesn't have to get off the ground. Quick, hurried kick off the ground from Bricknell, straight inside the forward 50, but it's a beautiful running defensive player of Holman. Gets it out to the right, over to Cox, bouncing ball, picks it up, looks up to centre half forward, finds a lead of Farrer, and he's dropped the mark. Play on, wasn't chopped at the back, it said, so play on, and it's now the Nightcliff Tigers who are going to go over on the outside wing, clearing it through the middle. Pop up and they find the Nightcliff Tiger, Cameron Eilert. He takes his time and opts to go left just at the forward 50 mark for them. Left side, ball put inside the top of the square, and a great mark from Nightcliff Tigers. And that was Butcher.
Bit of post movement as well, bit of not quite a Lee Matthews there, but there is
he's just so good with the outstretched hands. You realise not only his height, but he's got a great reach on him.
Yeah, and it makes so much difference having, when you come up against those players that are, 6'4", whether he's 6'4" or 6'5", up in that area. It's,
hugging the boundary, goes for the banana kick, 2 steps out, and it is across the face, and snuck in for 1 point. But a great build-up there down the outer wing. So quick play in from Southern Districts, but it's Nightcliff 7-2-44 to Districts 9-3-57. Districts with the lead, and they're trying to get it out of defence here, Dom.
Aubrey, finally. A little bit of a to-do between he and Bowden. The 1-2 didn't quite work. Kicked long down the line now, going towards Daniel Cox, and soccering it off the ground was Jaden Schofield. Didn't need to. A metre out from the boundary. And of course, that close, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
I thought he kicked it into Mills' legs.
So the free kick paid. Long kick, good mark. Tremendous mark there. Bricknell it is. And what a good player this young man is. But a great kick on him. Of course, he's going to go to the target in Butcher. Found his chest. He dropped it. Spillage went to Bailey Bell. Snap on goal is to the far side. Had a little bit more time than what he probably realised there, Bailey Bell.
Yeah, but there was a lot of numbers around him. I thought he was going to finish that well, but great to see Bricknell. He's just turning into a great player. I think he's a really good, second forward or third half forward. He's a true half forward. He leads up and takes strong marks like that.
District's getting themselves into trouble again out from the kick out here. Tackle laid. Nalkin with ball in hand. Just a high up and under contest. District's getting more numbers around the ball here, so taking it out there is Schofield. Again, another high up and under towards centre wing, and pushed into the contest there was Bowles. He'll take that every day of the week. Took the mark beautifully. Long kick down the line. Cleaning up at the back of the pack is Ogden. Steps around an opponent, looks for a teammate, finds them beautifully. Keep running now. Into space. Farah on the lead, the only person inside 50, takes the mark 65 out, kicks long looking for a teammate. The kick is horrible and it bounces out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Will they call for deliberate? They might try. But the umpires have called it, have they? But don't tell me they've called that deliberate. Surely not.
It's a bit harsh if they have, I think.
There's no way that's deliberate. That's got to be called a boundary throw. Surely. So a boundary throw in here, it's right forward pocket.
Even though, might not have made it, I don't think it's the worst option because you get a stoppage and you get your numbers and everyone pushes down to your forward 50, so you get to have another crack at it.
From the ruck contest now, the Tigers win it away a little bit too easily. Pressure being laid, Districts here in numbers, free kick paid for a high tackle, and there's a bit of a to-do again as a result of the tackles that are being laid. So the free kick to go back here to the Tigers. Daniel Bowles, I think it is. He's used the ball well in this quarter. Goes to his captain in Philip Wills. Kane Riley running to his right, doesn't go in that direction. Goes back the other way. Looking here for Bailey Bell, and the ball trickles out over the boundary line. So that tiredness and kicking efficiency, Thomas, is really going in the other direction compared to the first quarter.
Yeah, but there hasn't been so much break in the play. Philo's quietened down a bit in the last half of that quarter.
Well, there you go, the last half of that quarter, and that quarter has just come to an end. So half-time here at Marara Oval, the grand final replay, Nightcliff against Southern Districts. Southern Districts led by 1 point at quarter time, and at half-time, Southern Districts again in the lead, 9-3-57. The Nightcliff Tigers 7-3-45, so an even 2-goal break at half-time between these two teams.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's high gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks.
I know. It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1, bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Kennard's make your job easy.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Looking for the best and brightest to join your team? At Quality People, we specialise in finding quality, hard-to-get professionals, and we have an office right here in Darwin. Kick your recruitment goals with Quality People. qualitypeople.com.au.
Now that's quality.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Wedding or birthdays coming up? Maybe a get-together with friends and family? Waratah Clubhouse at Gardens Oval is the perfect venue for your next community function. Celebrate in the home to one of Darwin's iconic football clubs, Waratah Clubhouse.
It's Southern Districts obviously have played in numerous preliminary finals. Nightcliff have tried the same to get into the position to win a premiership, which they were lucky enough to do after a massive effort by the club and people involved there. But once you've climbed that mountain, it's a whole new chapter, because you're at the top, and it's like everybody's looking at you. So every week you front up to play footy, every team's pumped up to play you. You're the hunted. And they're all coming up with their different plans to try to beat you, and you're not so much reflecting on, because you're not losing as much. So you didn't lose as much last year, but you've obviously enjoyed your pre-season, but it's a different style of motivation and a different way. So Chris Bucks has obviously prepared. He's a good coach, so you would have sat with his leadership at the club and thought, how are we going to go about this, and in directing the club to be able to climb this mountain again. And Shannon Ruskers, was a rating premier last year when they played, so they had the same thing, and Nightcliff were chasing them. So it's a lot of toing and froing, but it takes a special group to get there.
Yeah, and you think that the Southern District side have been in back-to-back grand finals.
Yes.
They won 2 seasons ago by 1 point against Darwin. They were there again. And then fell short to Nightcliff. But they're a side as well that have been at that level 2 years in a row to make a grand final, let alone win them. It's pretty huge.
It is pretty huge. And to come back to your question before, Shannon, I think, half-time, round one, what are you saying to your players? I'd probably be asking them just to keep things really simple. It is round one. It's a long season. But part of it might also be a motivational message, particularly for the Tigers, to say, accept the challenge. Know that you are the team that is on top, that you're going to be chased. This is going to be one of your main opponents, I think, as this season goes on. Southern Districts, accept the challenge, enjoy being the one that people come after, but keep things simple, do things that, the first thing that you know to do. Yeah,
and it's only 2 goals at this stage. Although you're 2 goals down Nightcliff and you are the reigning premier, they're not doing anything particularly horrible.
No.
Neither are both sides. So you've got your plans, you've worked on them for the whole pre-season, your game style, your game plans, you've spoken about them before the game. Let's stick with them. Stick with them continually. Both coaches would have been saying, you're not doing anything bad. Maybe we can improve on these things a little bit. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep applying the effort that you have been, because up to this stage you've been fine.
But defensively, the Crocs, for allowing them only 1 goal for a quarter, that's huge. I mean, they both, kicked 6 goals in the opening term, much quieter second half, but for Nightcliff only to kick 1 goal, that will be the sign that they'll need to, I think, in these first couple of minutes in the third quarter.
And possibly even Shannon Rusker, implemented something in that second quarter that stopped Brodie Philo and Nightcliff from having such clean centre breaks.
Yep.
Just aiming up, and just the way you form around that structure when you understand who's winning the tap-outs and whatnot. If Miles is getting his hand on it a bit more, you go a bit defensive and just put a bit more pressure on Brodie Philo.
Well, we are getting the teams back to their positions to start the third quarter. And just a reminder, NTFL season this year, we have 8 new rule changes, and so the 666, it's the quick kick out at the time where there is a point. The only one that hasn't changed, boys, from the introduction from the 9 rules introduced in the AFL is actually the water carrier. So if you've been watching AFL and you've realised that there have been rule changes for the year, you will then know that the only rule change that they haven't brought in from the AFL is the water carrier, and that is because of the heat.
Yeah,
rightly so.
Fair enough.
I think if they had only had the one goal quarter like we did in tomorrow.
All right, underway, third quarter. Dominic McCormack. It's the Crocs by 12 points.
Miles again going up against Owen Skender. Gone at it all night. Miles just getting that one away. Had a second crack at it. Cameron Islet coming through the middle. Philip Wills, a lovely little back kick there. Unfortunately for him, it went straight to Owen Skender. Pumps this one inside 50. Clean bowls Sam Barnett. Lovely little disposal out wide to Cameron Islet. His kick unable to be marked by his teammate. Ngalkin picks up nicely. Goes to Horbury. Long kick down towards Josiah Farah. Bit of strapping on the left knee. Chip looks for Will Farah, excuse me, And that pace off the mark. Again, they started together. That, to me, shows that Will Farah's back from a fitness and confidence perspective. His legs are working well.
And his brother just having the confidence and, just
straight
being brothers,
him.
obviously, you know, not waxing a bit, but just understanding when he pushed off the mark that Will was going to be, he's ready to go. So he was ready to fire off the kick.
Yeah, 5 metres in from the boundary, left forward pocket, kicking from about 45. Right boot kick on its way. It's going to fall short here, or is it? No, it's not. It's straight through for a goal. That's a beautiful kick from Will Farah. Talk about confidence. He's got confidence in his pace, and now he's got confidence in his goal kicking. He has now kicked 4. More importantly, Southern District's first goal of the third quarter. They're out to a 3-goal lead.
And it's, not to say anything negative about Kane Riley, because I think they've had a change-up, or...
No, I think that has just been made.
Yeah, so Brown is, one of the leaders in the back line. Maybe he's just sensing that Kane Riley just doesn't have the pace off the mark to go with Will.
That was so obvious just then, wasn't it? They started together and Will just burst away.
So he just put in a quick few steps there. So we'll see how Nathan Brown goes when it's deep inside 50 on the lead for Will.
And easily won out the Nightcliff ruck, but it's come out the left side, it's front of the commentary wing, and it is Nightcliff Tigers down, finding Winter Irvine. He goes around on the right, thumping boot to centre half forward, and it is an easy, uncontested mark there for the Southern District's defender in Smith, who dropped back. So inside 50, cut off for Southern Districts, comes out to the broadcast wing, trying to find Cox. And over the back was Winter Irvine. Caught ball back in the middle for a quick chip and falls into the lap of Bell.
Philo's going around
him. Gone off for a quick assist. Philo from 50 metres on the right. And he loved it. And a great option there from Bell. He was coming back from the mark on the 50-metre paint. Gave the ball to Philo, who'd gone sprinting past. Wanted it directly in front and slots it.
Yeah, he was running past it about 100 miles an hour. And I reckon he would have been screaming for the ball fairly loudly too. But when you have a player like him coming past from that distance, you're inclined to give it to him, because more often than not he's going to do what he did just then and put it through. But I reckon it was an amazing kick, because he was running about on a 45-degree angle, and plus he had to get around the bloke Bell who handballed the ball to him. Great effort there by Brody Philo.
Such a good quality kick of the footy, Brody Philo.
He's getting a bit of attention here at all the stoppages.
Miles up against Owen Skender again. Ball falls to Cameron Islet. Quick kick out of the middle, straight inside 50. Target was Butcher, had it for a moment, then stripped of it. Holman's done a good job there, pushes it out wide, sockers it in front of himself. Ngalkin now chasing after it, sockers it in front of himself. Ball stops and props, goes back. Ngalkin did really well to get it. Handball up to Nagawali. Ngalkin just kicked it off the ground, socketed it away, up towards half forward here for Southern Districts. Owen Skender picked up the ball, took the tackle, and the umpire says, I will have it. Just forward of centre now for Southern Districts. Kicking again to the airport end, the end that's favoured by a slight breeze. What can they do in this third quarter? Goal apiece so far. Socket away from the contest there by Philo. Philip Wills, I think, has just given away a free kick with a push in the back. So Ogden, in fact, it is Horbury gets up from that contest a little gingerly, and Will Farah shoved in the back. No, the mark is paid. So well done there to Brown. The Tigers are away here. Bowles took the handball, no one near him. Just stops and props, kicks it out wide. Handball comes up to Philo. Suddenly we're calling his name again, Thomas. He hardly got a touch in the second quarter. Cox now looking to receive the handball. Gets it, kicks backwards. That's a good kick too. Finds Michael Bowden. Will steady play down at fullback. On the move here for Southern District, Schofield. That's a wonderful kick. Michael Bowden, such a good user of the footy. Schofield now, little chip. Not only is he a user of the footy, but he works hard to get his kicks too. That one there under pressure. The kick is going to go downfield. Bowden dealt with after he kicked the footy. So Southern Districts now. A long kick up towards half forward. Mark taken here by Beau Schwarz. Lovely chip looking for Will Farah over his head. Jumped a little bit too early perhaps. Josiah Farah putting the pressure on Brown. Just got his kick away. Running hard at the footy, Sam Barnett. Took an opponent out with him. Cox kept his eye on the footy. Stripped it out for a teammate. Goes back in again. Lovely left foot kick to the advantage here of a teammate. Isaac White has to go back in to get it again. Then he's taken high. Errant high tackle there. And Isaac White will take the free kick in the middle of the ground for the Crocodiles.
They've got extra numbers down there, Nightcliff. They've sat a couple extra inside 50. They might win the ball here.
Handball. Tigers coming through in numbers here. Bailey Bell trying to push the ball forward, but those numbers again for the Crocodiles. And we saw this in the second quarter. Their numbers around the contest were better, Thomas.
Yeah, and it's been really even at the stoppages. I know early Nightcliff were getting on top with Brody Philo breaking the ball away, but they've managed to work it back in their favour.
From this contest now, Ngalkin slaps the ball forward, picked up here by Riley, sweeps a handball. Lovely handball over the back comes to Cameron Islet, who's lifted his rating early stages of this third quarter. Handball sweeps out to Caleb Walker. Picked up nicely by the Tigers. Now Wills at half forward. Kicks over the top of a teammate in Coco Nicky, who was in the clear. Ball clean bowls. Butcher socket out of bounds and a boundary throw in. Holman did beautifully there to disguise that.
Yeah, he did. But I thought Phil Wills had a bit of time and they had numbers on that side. So I thought they could have either had options to either run the ball in a bit further or draw a handball and have a shot from inside 30.
A little bit too Butcher conscious perhaps there, Philip Wills. In the ruck contest now, Butcher wins that, slaps it forward to the advantage here of Chapman. Taken down in the tackle. Snap. On goal, will fall in the goal square. Good wrestle, no mark. Taken by Rusker. His kick out to the back pocket and will spill out of bounds. That's a wonderful effort by the Southern District's defence. Boundary throw in, left forward pocket favouring the Tigers, 45 metres around from their goal. 7 minutes gone in this third quarter. Southern Districts 10-3, 63. Nightcliff 8-3, 51.
Great contest by Holman and Butcher.
Owen Skender at the front, pushed at the back by Butcher. It was a nominated ruck, but it is being cleared out now for Southern Districts. Down in the commentary wing by Farah. That's
Josiah.
Wants his brother out the back.
Wants his brother, yes, he's directing him. Swirls around onto the left foot, goes up, big mark from Farah, but drops down into the lap of Stewart. And Stewart, has missed to the right.
Nathan Brown is down with an ankle.
And that doesn't look good. He went up in the huge pack with Farah and he cannot put pressure on that ankle at the moment. So real concerns for Nathan Brown as the play goes out on the outer side and it's in the hands of Cameron Islet.
I'll just keep an eye on that as the play goes.
He decides to go into the middle to Wills, but we've got to get 50 metres for the man on the mark going over. So Cameron Islet will get the ball back. He's going to sprint down the field.
You can just see the confidence there from Josiah, knowing Will was working back and the contest Will gave was great.
Now the pass from Islet to Wills was ugly, so it's going to be Southern Districts that are going to be able to turn the ball over here on the outside commentary wing, and it's Nalkin out on the left, goes down through the middle, just over the top of Barnett, and it's going to be cleaned up by Nightcliff Tigers. Riley gets the ball, kicks it long down towards the outer wing, but it's a strong mark there for Southern District. So again, turned over quickly in the middle of the park. Brooks spots up, goes to centre half forward, out on the leaders. William Farah drops the chest mark he should have taken, has time to go around and he's collected, and it's going to be holding the ball. But he'll be disappointed with that, Farah. He had no one around him for a mile. He dropped a chest mark he should have taken, and in the right centre half forward pocket, he is going to hand the ball over. But that was a brilliant chase there in the end by Nicky.
And they had an advantage because Nathan Brown was heading off the oval with his ankle injury. So Will or someone in the forward line for the Southern Districts was an extra player.
Walker now with the ball in hand for the Tigers. Caleb Walker kicks down the line, centre wing, Lionel Ogden. Good contest between he and Cameron Islet. Won by Lionel Ogden. Ball flicked out to Cox. Little chip comes out towards Ogden at half forward. Ball goes to Nagawali. Couldn't handle. The tiredness creeping in already for both teams here. Nice tackle laid there on Winter Irving. Comes out again to Ogden. He slips out a handball. Rusker comes charging through. In fact, it was Rusker. Now the long kick for the Tigers. Roger Morris, the up and under to half forward. Ball pursued here by Holman. Takes possession, got rid of it by hand. Philo tries to step around an opponent. Does it beautifully. puts it on to Bricknell. His kick is a good one. Goes back here, and the Tigers slot a goal. Well done there by the Tigers. They maintained their calm, put the goal on the board. They moved to 9-3, 57, trailing Southern Districts 10-4, 64. And the goal kicker?
Sharp.
Sharp, there he is, the sharpshooter from Bendigo, and he has another goal on the board for the Nightcliff Tigers.
Yeah, it's playing a really great game, I think. And Nightcliff were just able to work the ball. They've worked out that they had an extra number there, and Brody Filer was able to pull that really smart kick, pull that kick across to Bricknell, and managed to get a goal there and run it in. But just looking down on the boundary line, they've got Nathan Brown is in the hands of the Nightcliff trainer, Alison Kelly, and she's got ice pack. Looks to be on the end of his foot, not on his ankle, so more towards the toes. So
from the ruck contest now, Southern Districts getting it forward. Nice handball comes out from Barnett, and the long shot at goal from Jaden Schofield off to the right-hand side. So another point on the board for Southern Districts. They maintain their lead, 10-5, 65. Tigers 9-3, 57. We've gone almost 12 minutes in this third quarter. Contest now at centre wing. Ball over the back. Ngalkin chases after it. Did beautifully. Got a handball away to a teammate. Standing up in the tackle, Zach Smith, but he's taken in the tackle. Didn't get the ball away. Tackle was laid there by Melville.
Melville's been really interesting because he's got a lot of touches higher up the ground, deeper across in the back of the wings. Where Thunder and previous seasons he's been a full forward. And
well and truly for Nightcliff, leading goal kicker last season. His kick up towards half forward, and a contest on between... now advantage called as Philip Wills. There was a whistle blown on the contest. Wills was in space. He's gotten the ball up inside 50. Coco Nicky just paddling it around. The ball tossed out in the contest. And again now, Sharp after it. In the goal square. Tackles laid, ball spilled through across the goal line for a behind. Perhaps a little bit fortunate there, Southern Districts. A poor kick coming out from that contest. No mark taken. Quick kick in. Isaac Wyatt, close to the boundary line, gets it away to a teammate. The long bomb out of trouble. Ogden at the back, spoils a teammate. Josiah Farah now, close to the boundary line. Soccers it to his advantage initially. Then to the advantage of Harry Williams. He finds a teammate who misses the footy. Ngalkin is tripped and will be paid a free kick in the centre of the ground, or just to the right of centre.
Nightcliff need to hurry up and work back and get numbers back.
Ngalkin chips it out wide here to Josiah Farah. He's been lethal with his kicking. Goes with that long left foot kick again, looking for Will Farah. No one around the contest really. Caleb Walker there for the Tigers. Chips it out wide. Goes here for Bailey Bell. The kick is over his head. Working hard was Nagawali. And the umpire, the boundary umpire,
thought it was off the knee there, a bit high.
They've called for a boundary throw-in, and the Tigers are calling for a free kick for out of bounds on the full here.
Definitely thought it was off the thigh, knee or line.
Thomas Motlop, the three umpires agree with you. So boundary throw-in it will be about 70 metres around from the Southern Districts goal.
Fox has just come back on. I thought he's injected himself into this game, definitely in this third quarter. His ability to break the lines and just get involved in those contested stoppages has been great.
Ball to the back of the pack goes to Josiah Farah. Just threw the ball away. Nagawali dragged off the contest. The ball shoved out here by Winter Irving. Comes back again here to Damien Williams. Stands up in the tackle magnificently. 30-metre handball. Finds a teammate there in Schofield. Will he have the shot on goal? He will, and he skids it through for a behind.
He definitely made the right choice there, I feel. He hadn't taken the shot himself because the kicks were too shallow, but he just failed to execute.
Lionel Ogden managed to grab the ball after the kick out. Got it away to Tim Brook. Now Brody Philo in the clear. What can he do? Goes to his captain in Philip Wills at centre wing. Nathan Brown up and running on the boundary line, which is a terrific sight for the Tiger faithful, as we see Wills goes to Coco Nicky at centre wing.
Kane Riley, so they've thought that Kane Riley can't go with Will Farah. Now Nathan Brown's injured.
Well, this could turn out well for the Tigers. Two Southern District players have cleaned each other up, went over the head of Bell. There was a quick shot on goal, and the injured player laying on the ground is Sharp. So he had a shot on goal, but he's still down at the forward 50 line for the Nightcliff Tigers. So a couple of players down on the ground, and Sharp's unable to get to his feet at the moment. And we'll go back with the play where it's going to be a throw-in right in front of the commentary.
Survival of the fittest at the moment.
They're dropping like flies at the moment, right in front of this commentary box here. Thrown, tossed back up in the direction of Innes. And coming through for Southern Districts. Looked like it was an incorrect disposal of the ball. It's tough in there, and under the pack is Cameron Islet, who's been absolutely smashed to the ground. Philo gets a handball back towards Winter Irvine, who goes into the middle of the park. The ball is going to bounce kindly there for Bowles. Bowles takes a bounce, takes a second bounce straight down the middle, left foot, tries to find Wills, who's parked in front, and it's disposed of well there from the Southern Districts, and there's a flying mark that was dropped. So now it's Nightcliff Tigers with their chance. Try and settle things down. Philo, commentary side wing, pops it up further, goes towards Hangen. He goes inside, finds an unmarked Brown. Brown goes around on the right foot, looking for Butcher. He's got two to beat, and it goes over the back. Just seen over by Holman for Southern Districts. 10 metres to the right, to the left of their goals for Nightcliff Tigers.
So the boundary throw in now as the players set themselves. 17.5 gone in this third quarter. 66 plays 58 as we see Jaden Schofield come back onto the ground for the Crocodiles. Boundary throw in, one down there by Owen Skender against Butcher. Tackle laid, and the umpire says, I will have it immediately. 15 metres out. Nightcliff in attack.
I reckon we're going to see Nathan Brown back on the oval shortly.
Ruck contest. Manages to smash the ball away a great distance. Keegan Dingo took it. Belted it to 60 away from goal. Tackle laid on the 50-metre arc. Southern Districts in possession. That's a dangerous kick into the corridor. Bricknell feeds an intelligent handball. Crashing tackle laid. Hands comes up to Keegan Dingo. Back here to Holman. Another one away to Michael Bowden. That's a beautiful kick, almost under pressure. Now, the Tigers, what can they do? Tackle laid, Districts defence working really well. Bricknell took it, dropped it to ground. The numbers come for Southern Districts. Bowles gathers, handballs into space. Looks here for Philo. He can do anything. Has the shot from the boundary. That is a superb goal from Brodie Philo. I said he can do anything. He just did anything.
He did something. Definitely did something as well. Yeah, great individual effort. You know, you can put structures and things in place to prevent you know, things like that happening and try to manipulate the game in your favour. But at the end of the day, you can't stop some individual brilliance like we've just seen there.
Wow,
and
that
you love
was
it
brilliant.
Because as soon as he kicked it, he just stood there with his hands out. We didn't even have to look at what the goal umpire was doing because you knew by his reaction that that was going through. So that brings the margin back to 2 points here, and we've gone just on 19 minutes in this third quarter, and Nightcliff Tigers have kicked 3 goals, and it's Southern Districts who have only kicked 1 this quarter. So a bit of a comeback for the Tigers, who are the reigning premiers. They're just having a look now here at the numbers. And there's going to be a warning because there's not enough in the middle. So the ball's down on the ground. And umpire Morecambe, Brodie Morecambe, just bringing an extra player in for the Crocs.
That's a rarity not to see enough players in the middle.
In the middle. So Winter Irvine here going up against Owen Skender, who easily won it out of the ruck for Southern Districts. Already it's in their centre half forward. Try to pick it up was Farah. Josiah Farah up and under towards his brother. He's wrestling at the top of the square. It's going to go dribbling through off a Nightcliff Tigers player. So it's a behind, and that brings the margin back. Oh, that's out to 3 points as it's a quick play on down the commentary wing. Tries to find Winter Irvine. He thinks of a quick little handball gives it off to Bricknell. Bricknell goes inside, looking for Cameron Islet. He had to wait under the ball. He was quick to recover off the ground. Gave it to Philo. Philo wanted to chip it over to Bricknell, but it was Nalkin who was the man that chopped it off for Southern Districts. Now in the middle of the park for Districts. Wyatt looking around. He's being harassed. Can't get it out. In the end, it dribbles out to the player in Schofield. He isn't able to control it. Hurried quick off the ground, still inside the centre square, in favour of Southern Districts, but working hard, and under that is Walker. Comes out in favour for Brooke. Brooke puts it on the boot. Now inside the forward 50 for Southern Districts, but it's going to be mopped up by Butterick, and he goes out to the right, and it's chopped off again by Southern Districts, straight back into their forward 50, and it's Will Farah out on the lead. It's his brother that gets the crumbs, and Josiah Farah has plenty of time, whirls around, tries to pick up a free player, was going further over to the right, but it's going to be picked up in the end. Southern Districts just outside their forward 50, ball bouncing everywhere. Ball comes back now to Ogden. Ogden has time to go back inside the forward 50. Up and under, Stewart not able to take the mark. Ball fumbled everywhere. Riley outside the forward 50 for Nightcliff Tigers, and defensively he's able to play it down towards Hangen, and Nightcliff Tigers are away in the middle through Islet, but the ball's been chopped off in front of him. A heavy tackle by Wylet. That's going to be too high. And there's 50 metres there from an undisciplined Wyatt. He'd done well to chop off and intercept the ball, but as it came back into the lap of Violet, he was too heavy-handed. High tackle and a little bit of treatment there to Cameron Islet, but in saying that, he now will be marched 40 metres inside their forward 50 Nightcliff Tigers, directly in front.
And he could possibly, get the lead for Nightcliff here. I thought it was, it was a great effort to get to that contest, but you've got to be a bit smart and understand where your body is and where your arms are going, because they stopped a really great play of Cameron Islet. If they had played on, they would have had an inside 50 regardless, I think.
Bit too heavy-handed in there from Wylet. Adrenaline was pumping, but for Islet, crosses the 50 directly in front, and it's got the distance, it's got the carry. And as you heard from Thomas Motlop, this kick on goal puts Nightcliff Tigers back in front, and we have gone 22 minutes in the third quarter. Nightcliff Tigers 11-4, accurate. They've got 70 points to Districts 10-7, 67.
Southern Districts probably didn't want a Nightcliff goal there, but I think both teams really needed that break, because there were a lot of contests and a lot of continuous play, and even when the play went into the middle to Cameron Islet, there were a lot of both players from both sides on their haunches inside 50 for Southern Districts, who just weren't able to get on their feet and start jogging down to the other end of the oval. But I think the fitness of both sides is really going to show who did a lot of work in this pre-season here.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Thomas. From the ruck contest now, Miles wins it down. Will's trying to burst onto it, couldn't grab it, diving on the footy. And now the ball comes out to Cameron Islet. He's done this numerous times already in this quarter. Straight out of the middle, down into the 50-metre arc. Ball comes out here to Bailey Bell. The chip, almost the mark taken. Now the ball in hand of the Tigers. Terrible chip. The target was Coco Nicky. The idea was right. Keegan Dingo diving in. Now they're under pressure here, Southern Districts. Ball in the corridor. Flicked out here by Damien Williams. On the top of him is Hangen. Damien Williams trying to get up out of the contest, and the umpire says, I will have it, and ball it up 40 metres out, directly in front of the Nightcliff goal. 67 plays 70. Tigers in the lead from the ruck contest. Southern Districts come away with it through Tim Brook. The high up and under will fall in the hands of the Tigers, and a kick is marked by the Tigers inside 50. Mark paid and taken there by Roger Morris, just left of centre, and he'll kick from about 48 metres from goal.
You could just see Trent Melville was an extra, even when they had the contest just inside 50 before the Trent Melville kicked their extra Tigers numbers. So that's one way to understand the fitness of seeing the fitness levels, is just seeing where the numbers are and who has the most numbers at each of the stoppages and contests.
So Roger Morris for another important goal. Kick on its way. That's a lovely looking left foot kick, but it just fades late to the left. Behind on the board for the Tigers. Interesting to see who their important goal kickers are in this quarter. 2 to Philo and 1 to Islet. Their key midfielders, as we see the mark taken at 3/4 time by Southern Districts there through Jaden Schofield. It doesn't matter. He took that mark at half back. So at 3/4 time, the Nightcliff Tigers, an impressive third quarter, the premiership quarter as they call it, and they go to the three-quarter time break in front. Districts 10-7-67, but the Tigers 11-5-71, a 4-point ball game at three-quarter time in.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
So we can feel forever, yeah, feel together, real, real, together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Mother Nature can be frighteningly predictable in the Territory this time of year. Heavy rains and damaging winds can cause significant problems and disruption, particularly if you're unprepared, while downed power lines and flash flooding can be lethal. To ensure you're ready, visit powerwater.com.au/safety or text SAFETY to 0428 323 991 for more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
come in and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Wherever you are listening to us, and it is coming up to a huge final quarter here in the grand final rematch. It's Nightcliff 5-11-71 leading Southern Districts 10-7-67. Thank you so much for your company on this Saturday afternoon, the first weekend in October, all wrapped up with the AFL, but for Territory football, it is just starting for another big couple of months. Shannon Byrne in commentary alongside Dominic McCormack and Thomas Motlop, who will be lacing up the boots tomorrow for Wanderers. He's played in the SANFL, in the Waffle, and across various leagues in Victoria. As we are getting underway, only 4 points in it, Thomas. A huge quarter. Pretty much you could say it's even, couldn't you?
And I think this quarter is, why all the teams in pre-season are doing 400s, 200s and 300s. It's because for moments like this, when you're getting tested and you're under the pump and the pressure's coming, the run of the legs really stands out here, and that's what gets you over the line in these situations.
Ball in the middle now, 4 points the margin. Tigers have taken the lead. Owen Skender up against Miles. Skender wins it down beautifully. Bailey Bell charges onto it for the Tigers. Skender wraps him up, and he's given it as a push. A push in the back. Well, I think he's exceptionally fortunate. Handball's off to Philo. Has a bounce. Runs his way out towards centre wing. Can't let that man run a lot with the footy. Kicks long down the line. Keegan Dingo underneath it. Called into it beautifully by his teammate. Takes the mark. Got a few options. Now called to play on. Philip Wills, the new captain for the Nightcliff Tigers, on the mark. Ball down the line. Damien Williams underneath it. Couldn't take the mark. Good handball fired out by Philo to Miles. Couldn't handle it. Now Moniz Wakefield. Can he get hold of it? Cox does. Sweeping handball goes to Schwarz. Lovely little chip goes to a teammate at centre half forward. Should have gobbled it. Didn't do it. No mark taken there to Steve Stewart. Gets it out to a teammate out the side. Tackled immediately. And they will ball it up at centre half forward. That teammate was Jaden Clark. Gets up a bit gingerly after that tackle was laid. Owen Skender in the ruck contest. Goes back in and lays a tackle. Bailey Bell gets his kick away for the Tigers out to centre wing. And there's going to be a free kick down the field. And that will go to Coco Nicky for a tackle after the ball had been disposed of. So Coco Nicky, left centre wing, scoreboard side. Takes that for the Tigers. Just steady here. Looks to play on and goes to Winter Irving. Handballs to the back. Players going down already with cramp, sore ankles. It's all happening.
They're feeling it.
Survival of the fittest here in this last quarter, and the ball kicked down the line, came off hands and pushed out of bounds for a boundary throw in at left half forward, just forward of the scoreboard here at Marara Oval.
Out on the, did Darryl White name that the Michael McLean wing or scoreboard wing?
I think he had a few cracks at it last season, didn't he? Had a few names for it. Boundary throw in now. Owen Skender up against Miles. Skender wins it. Owen Skender, I should say, but only as far as Philo. Runs his full measure. Kicks from 60. Was celebrating as the boot kicked the ball, but just off to the right-hand side. Gee, he can kick a footy. Behind to the Nightcliff Tigers. They move on to 11-6-72. Southern Districts 10-7-67. Ball brought back into play. That's got to be called an unrealistic attempt. That's very undisciplined play there by Harry Williams, I think it might have been, for the Tigers, and a free kick given away immediately there to Jaden Schofield at half back.
And he's just conditioned too, Brody, because he's just come off of a season down in country Victoria, so although he mightn't have played for a couple of weeks, he's still got that run in his legs.
Michael Bowden took the footy from the free kick and delivered a bullet pass to Jaden Clark. Clark's kick is not so good. The turnover to Roger Morris. So Morris now. Gee, there's a few left footers out there and all of them kicked beautifully. Roger Morris up to centre half forward, found Butcher. Couldn't handle cleanly. Tim Brook let the footy go. Handball over the top, looking for Philo. Doesn't go into the contest, just waits to lay the tackle on Damien Williams. Hands it off to Jaden Clark. He goes to a teammate in Zach Smith. Smith now off to Brook. The long kicking Brook goes through half forward. Caleb Walker holding his opponent off. They collide. The ball spills in attacking 50 for Southern Districts, and a high tackle free kick is called, and that will go to the Nightcliff Tigers in the form of Joel Buderick.
So outside on the outside wing, right in front of the scoreboard, and there is a vacant player in Kidney. He's got time, hurries the kick into centre half forward and honours the lead. He had a lot more time with that kick, and
That's
in the
Sharp.
end, that is Sharp slowly getting to his feet. Bit ginger there as he walks back, but he'd run from the top of the square. It looked like it was going to go through traffic, but it was a great lead there from Sharp. Slight angle to the left. Skip on his approach, drops it on the left foot, looking for the first goal of this fourth quarter. And he's now kicked 3, Sharp. So they extend their lead, Nightcliff, 12-6 to Districts 10-7, 67. First goal of the quarter, and it goes to Nightcliff Tigers.
Yeah, Nightcliff already in this quarter have already had 4 clearances and 4 inside 50s. So they're starting to really turn, those wheels are starting to turn, and they're trying to really put this game in their favour. So Southern Districts either need to reassess where they're at. Even some of those kicks going inside 50 were, which they pay off, but high risk, high reward. But when they don't come off, you're getting attacked through the middle of the corridor.
The bounce back straight away.
Yeah.
Brody Philo again has been a key as we see Owen Skender up in the ruck again. Bailey Bell, he's been a feature. His quick kick up towards Winter Irving couldn't take the mark, but the Tigers with possession again. Numbers around the ball, Southern Districts couldn't get hold of it. Now they have. Handball comes out from Zach Smith to Baden Alkin. Taken and tackle. Hands it off to Damien Williams. Steady in the contest. Spears a pass, doesn't find his teammate initially. Isaac Wyatt crashes into his opponent. Ball comes out the back here to Steve Stewart. Kicks up centre wing. Ball taken by Riley. Lovely little toe poke out through centre wing. Was looking for Philo, but Bailey Bell got in the way. Eventually gets it off to Philo in the clear. Runs away from an opponent. Spears a pass up towards Sharp. Now the ball in the hands of Butcher, wrapped up by Holman. They crash tackle into him, and the umpire says, I will have it. Just inside 50, about 15 metres in from the boundary. So a ball up, a quick one it is. Didn't allow the players time at all to get numbers around the footy. Comes to the Tigers. Lovely handball. The snap on goal is an absolute ripper. The Tigers have another one on the board.
Sharp's got his fourth.
That's Sharp again. They don't call him Sharp for nothing. He's kicked a goal in the first, another in the third, and now 2 in the last. And the Tigers, Thomas, they are, well, they're not quite streaking away, but they're putting a mark on this game.
Yeah, definitely. They're just growing their, those important figures around, clearance stoppages and inside 50s, and they're just, really starting to dominate the state of play of this game so far. And Lachlan Sharp, just, when he's getting opportunities, even Butcher, if he continues to, double and they get more opportunities than what they're having, they're going to close out. He's a noted goal kicker in Bendigo, which is a really high standard of country footy, along with Geelong football and Gippsland footy. So he's a quality player.
And Miles up against Innes now, and I thought Owen Skender had been dominating that ruck, but it's cleared out by Nightcliff Tigers off the boot of captain Philip Wills. It's over in front of the commentary wing. Bailey Bell trying to get the ball that's bouncing, keeps it just inside on the painted 50 on the right side, looks up for Butcher. He stayed down, put it on the boot, quick snap at goal, and it's just gone to the right. So another clearance there from Nightcliff Tigers. And talking about players, Wyatt getting some attention and just stretching, so cramp starting to creep in for some of these players. The kick quick out from Southern Districts came to the 50-metre paint. They're still defensively under pressure. Wyatt's the man that just quickly puts it onto the ball. Under it's Ogden. He's moved out of the way. The ball bounces over for a throw-in. About 70 metres out on the left. Districts trying to still get it out defensively.
We've got Dean Staunton, quality player for Southern Districts himself, doing the running, but this is where runners come important and team management on the boundary, because having those rotations, midfielders doing their 3-4 minutes and coming off and on, getting their rest really goes a long way to securing a win for either side.
From the boundary throw in, Nightcliff with numbers around the footy. It comes to Philip Wills close to the boundary line. Long kick. into the forward 50, taken here by Holman. His sweeping handball under pressure from Butcher bounces off the chest of a teammate, kept in play beautifully by Wills, socket off the ground by Coco Nicky, no mark taken by Damien Williams. Keegan Dingo pushes it forward into the hands of Ogden. Ogden now to the run of Jaden Schofield, has lots of room, lots of time. What does he do with the footy? Puts it over the back. Will Farah flew high, and he's going to get a free kick for a Shepherd.
I think it's in.
It's going the other way.
It's going the other way because I think it's an unrealistic attempt.
But he gave the signal as a Shepherd.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
The only person who could have been shepherded was Will Farah. Very strange. Nightcliff with ball in hand, bowls with that beautiful left foot, kicking it out wide. Mark taken here by Jaden Clark, who's had a good game for Southern Districts. Kicks into the middle of the ground, kicks for Ogden. The kick was poor. Ogden tracking the ball. He's wrapped up in a tackle straight away by Bailey Bell. And there'll be a ball up at centre wing. Ogden had a pretty good game for the Crocodiles. Ball tossed high. Miles wins it down, I think, on that occasion. The ball buffets around in amongst that pack. Damien Williams grabs hold of it, then loses it. In the back, there was Jaden Clark. No free kick from the umpire. And they'll do it all again. In the middle of the ground, but just favouring the grandstand side. Flying high there was Owen Skender. The ball clears the pack area, comes to Cameron Ireland, almost caught with the footy. Spillage. Damien Williams is injured, got a handball away. Ball buffets around again. Now it comes to Bailey Bell, goes to Miles. Miles, a good kick, finds a teammate in Harry Williams, bangs away at goal. The crowd had urged him on. He rewarded them with the shot on goal, but out of bounds on the full.
And a bit of concern there for Williams, trying to put pressure on his left leg. So the trainer just running out to him and assisting him off. Better news, he's just starting to jog off, so not good news there for Crocs. That's a change that they wouldn't have wanted. Keegan Dingo goes back inside board, finds the run of Bowden. He goes a thumping kick, trying to get it outside the centre square in favour of Schwartz. Schwartz paddles it forward, and in the foot race it's Barnett who's in front. Snap on goal, and it's a great snap on goal from Barnett. Came from nothing, it was fumbling in the forward 50, and Barnett was the man that was able to gather it and put it on the boot, and it's a reply that the Crocs needed.
Yeah, and one of the most important parts of that, getting the ball and getting that goal there, was Michael Bowden kick out a slow play, trying to release out of the back line. Keegan was able to come across and take a really good mark in a contest there, and then also going back and having the awareness to go back into the middle of the oval, where Michael Bowden worked back up to receive the kick back off Keegan, then put it over the other side of the oval, and within two kicks they were over in the other inside, in their own inside 50, having a shot at goal.
He's a good runner and a good user of the ball, is Michael Bowden. Must do it more, and I'll tell you what, his team have got to do it more and quickly in this quarter. 11 and a half minutes gone in this last quarter. They trail now by an even 2 goals. Ruck contest, one down there by Winter Irving for the Tigers, and they clear it from the middle. Up inside 50, running onto the footy. Butcher gets a handball away to Coco Nicky. His little chipper, that's a beautiful kick. Finds a teammate in Tyson Kidney. He kicks quickly and goes to Philip Wills. 35 from goal. 40-degree angle, 15 metres in from the boundary, right forward pocket.
That's it. He just needs to slow everybody down, slow all the young boys down. Just calm down. You're inside 30 metres, Phil. Just settle everybody down. That way you can bring all your numbers up. Your leaders in the group, your leaders out on the oval should be telling everybody to pair up with an opponent so
and
that
exactly
you
as
close
you're
it up.
saying that, look at all the players moving forward. So Wills now, we've got a great view of this kick. And unfortunately for Philip Wills, that was never on target. Started right, stayed right, through for a behind. So 13 points the margin. 13 goals, 8-86, plays 11-7-73. Almost 13 minutes gone in this last quarter. Districts now through Bowden to bring the ball back into play. Low spearing kick, looking for Brook, belts it away from an opponent. Socket back into play. Bowden charges at the footy, almost took the mark, got a scrubbing kick out, only as far as Winter Irving. He gets his handball to Philip Wills, back into a nest of Tigers players, front on contact of Josiah Farah, no free paid. The kick on goal is again a behind to the Nightcliff Tigers.
there's some sore bodies out there tonight. A lot of heavy hits, especially to the torso, as Josiah Farrer's just popped there.
The kick in goes now to Brandon Rusker. Just looks to steady play down. There is still time in this game. Districts don't need to rush this, but they need to use the ball well. Long kick down the line. Goes to the back of the pack. Kane Riley takes possession. Nightcliff just got players out everywhere here. Wills just gets his kick away. Josiah Farrer gets in front of Coco Nicky, gets an errant kick away, comes to the back of the pack. Now they have space. Keegan Dingo made that space, received the handball. Good low ball, finds Beau Schwarz, no mark taken, keeps control of the footy and did really well. Pushes it through the pack, finds a teammate, gets it out to Negawali. Negawali the high kick, finds Wyatt. Steps one way, then the other, then has his kick smothered. Needed to get into space. District still fighting hard here for it at ground level. Now it finds the space and Caleb Walker.
Cam Islet just pushed hard really back to create an extra player down in their back line, so there would have been numbers there if Southern Districts were able to get that kick away.
In the middle, it's Philo. He's doing a bit of directing, chips it over and finds Bricknell. Bricknell on the edge of the square, pumps it inside the forward 50, looks for Butcher. Butcher not able to take it. Keegan Dingo down on his feet. Desperate defence there from Southern Districts. Handball out from Holman, and it's a Nightcliff Tigers 2-on-1 here. Great pick up from Sharp. He goes in, finds Will to Riley. Riley dabs the left foot. Top of the square, and then it's picked up again by Bricknell. Handballs over to Bell. Bell, one way then the other. Back to Philo. Takes a step, goes around one, goes around two, goes to snap on the left, and it's a juggling mark that's been put down by Williams, and it's clearing defence from Southern Districts through Smith. Goes to the right back pocket, and it's an ugly kick down that just finds a good bounce for Schofield. Schofield thumps it down in front of the scoreboard, and it is picked up in the end through Nightcliff's Walker. Walker puts it in towards their centre half forward, but it's Southern Districts that will clear it away, but only as far as Butcher, who's run back into the middle of the square. He's indicating he's going to go directly front of goals, but instead chops it back to Cameron Islet, who's directly in the middle of the park. He takes his time, wants a bit of assistance from Walker. He, in the end,
just seems like the Nightcliff players have a bit more legs than the Southern Districts players. Even when the ball was coming out of the back line there for Districts, there was no option because Bowles was proactive and got in front of his opponent really early and was able to cut it off at the scoreboard.
It's going to be a throw in after Nicky with a piercing park tried to find Sharp on the chest. He juggled it and it fumbled over on the left, the outer side. Still in favour for Nightcliff Tigers. We've balled up on the 50-metre arc. And there is 16 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Nightcliff 87 leading District 73.
Ruck contest, one down by Owen Skender. Tigers, however, take possession. Handball comes out to Cameron Islet. Holds onto the footy momentarily, looking for options down forward. Kicks to a pack. Handball comes out from Bricknell. Ball shoved away by Coco Nicky. Slapped to John Butcher. Got a handball away to the run of Miles. Districts just can't get themselves out of this defensive 50. Butcher, ball in hand, shrugs off an opponent, gets a handball away to Philo, looks to step around Baden Alkin. In fact, it was Cox. You can't do that too easily. The ball comes here to Philip Wills. They're charging into each other here. Got the handball out to Coco Nicky. Snaps on goal and a behind. 15 points the margin. Michael Bowden plays on quickly.
Very lucky there because Nightcliff had numbers everywhere. Everywhere the ball was, Nightcliff had an extra.
So Schofield had ball in hand, kicks it out wide, looking for a teammate and eventually out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Left half forward for the Nightcliff Tigers. Districts just cannot get out of there.
No, but they just need to talk now. Keegan needs to talk to his back line, set up really well in case Nightcliff do win this clearance. Further up the ground, Districts, whether Will Farrer needs to come up a bit higher so they can win the contest higher up the oval. They just need to find a way to get a goal here quickly.
Cameron Islet through the pack now, kicked towards the boundary line. How will the umpire see this? He's going to say that's a boundary throw-in. Not deliberate. Josiah Farrer was tracking it towards the boundary. The boundary throwing players look exhausted, Thomas, as you've said there. But they've hardly moved from that contest, just hoping that the boundary umpire will throw it to them.
Yeah, they just can't afford to be exhausted at this stage districts because they're behind.
Because they're behind, that's right.
They just need to create something because they still have a bit of time here to play with.
18 and a half minutes. Can they get hold of possession here? Doesn't look like it from this spot. Roger Morris got hold of it. His handball was smothered and again out over the boundary line. The players will regather in almost exactly the same position. We're still at left half forward here for the Tigers, kicking to the airport end.
And a bit of concern for Schwartz. He's in a world of pain with his right hand. The trainer is now called for the physio to go out and check on him. So he's just holding his right hand at the moment, Schwartz.
Ball up and under. No mark taken at half back. Holman comes charging through for Southern Districts, but Tigers set up well. It cleared the last defender there, though. Now Josiah Farah gets hold of it. Ogden feigned to kick. Dummied, slipped over, now is able to kick the footy. Oh, beautifully taken by Baden Alkin under pressure, just inside 50. Now there are numbers. Kicks well, finds a teammate who takes a mark, plays on if you don't mind, has the snap on goal and kicks the goal. That's exceptionally brave, and 2 goals to that player there who is... That is Sam Barnett. I think, is it Sam Barnett? It is Jaden Schofield.
Yep, Sam Barnett, second goal.
Sam Barnett with his second goal of this quarter. So very important contribution from him. It keeps Southern Districts in touch. 19, almost 20 minutes gone in this last quarter. Nightcliff 13-10, 88. Southern Districts 12-7, 79.
Great play. I thought it'd come undone there with Lionel Ogden. He slipped over in the centre, but he was able to regather his feet, put it in forward to Baden Alkin, who did a great individual marking effort. Then to put that ball over, but I think it was fantastic there. But I think, you need, Daniel Cox and Lionel Ogden to get involved in the centre and clear the ball out.
So 9 points and the clearance won by the captain, but only as far as Williams, or that's Josiah Farah. Sorry, Josiah Farah. So it's Southern Districts now inside their forward 50. A huge up and under. And William Farah is holding his head after he's dropped a mark, and the ball is directly in front. 30 metres out, directly in front. Looked like Nightcliff Tigers were going to get the clearance, chopped off and quickly pumped inside. So Innes up against Miles. Quick snap on goal. It's going to miss everything, and it will go out of bounds. So it was Nalkin who had the clearance there from the pack.
So they still have, Southern Districts still have a couple of players down here on centre half back. I reckon Michael Bowden and the players need to really get high and be proactive so you can stop the ball when it's exiting and don't give Nightcliff the setup that they want.
So the ruckman Miles up against Innes for Southern Districts. Miles taps it back behind. Still ball in dispute. There's about 20 players around inside the forward 50 for Southern Districts, and the umpire's going to say it's not coming out anytime soon. It looks like an under-10s match out there at the moment. Quick ball up. It's Miles who wins the tap down. Quickly gathered and taken out of the defensive 50 for Nightcliff Tigers, but it's going to be thumped back in. And it was Holman who's put it just inside the forward 50. And it's going to be put in from Southern Districts, not finding Butcher. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4 Tigers. They've got time to mop out. They're going to come out the right through Cameron Islet. The right back pocket. So a bad option going forward there. Butcher was under way too much pressure. So the Nightcliff Tigers on their last line of defence, happy to chip it around at the moment. They come out the right, down the broadcast wing. Keegan Dingo, experience there, the Southern Districts player.
Late in the game, they need this.
Just bumped out Nicky. He's going to thump it back inside the forward 50. Centre half forward. No pack mark taken there. Brought to the ground by a Southern Districts player. And it's going to be a ball up as 1-2 players get up and they're stretching, but it was Walker who wrapped up the Southern Districts player. And cramp starting to take effect here, Dom.
There certainly is. Pressure's on now. Ruck contest. High went Owen Skender. Brings out the handball. Goes to Cox. Haven't seen enough of him in this quarter. Puts the ball on the boot and it just finds A Nightcliff player standing by himself in bowls, and again too easily. Cameron Islet sprinting away from the contest, takes the mark, goes now to Williams. He takes the mark. His kick poor towards his captain in Williams, gets it back to him. Little up and under again. Finds a Nightcliff teammate. That was beautifully done on that occasion. Tyson Kidney takes the mark. Now they're running forward to the footy. Lionel Ogden charged in between the ball and Coco Nicky. But the siren sounds. The Tigers win the rematch. Round 1. Tigers versus Districts. And the Tigers have won 13-10-88. Southern Districts 12-7-79. A 9-point margin.
So a 9-point victory there for the reigning premiers. The Crocs had led by 1 point at quarter time, by 2 points, by 12 points at half time, and then Nightcliff Tigers were able to get back the lead late in the third quarter. By three-quarter time, it was Nightcliff Tigers by 3. And at the final siren there, Nightcliff Tigers have had a 9-point win. In the end, it was Nightcliff 13-10-88 to Southern Districts 12-7-79. And Dom, some of the goal kickers for that match. Oh, wow, what a finish.
What a game. What a tremendous game as a round 1 introduction, the grand final replay. Both sides should be extremely proud of their efforts, but the Nightcliff Tigers, wow, coming through very nicely there. Goal kickers for them. Main goal kicker, welcome to NTFL football, Lachlan Sharp. 1 in the first, 1 in the third and 2 in the last quarter. 3 goals to John Butcher in that incredible first quarter. They all came in that first quarter. Brodie Philo, 2 goals in the third quarter, and I thought that's where the Tigers really grabbed hold of the contest. They did beautifully there. And then singles to Coco Nicky, Cameron Islet, Philip Wills and Bailey Bell. For the Crocodiles, 4 goals to Will Farrer. Again, he matched John Butcher in the first quarter and kicked 3. He also kicked a goal in the third. Sam Barnett kicked 2 goals, both of them in the last quarter. Tim Brook kicked 2 goals, both in the first. Jaden Clark kicked 2 goals, both in the second. And Josiah Farrer kicked a single, as did Stephen Stewart. So the main goal kickers, Lachlan Sharp for the Tigers with 4, and Will Farrer, the Crocodiles, with 4.
So Thomas Motlop, I'll get your 3.